Are you a Chinese mestizo? Do you think the Philippines will be the same if the Chinese have not traveled to our country? What do you think will be the source of our income? Suppose you were born in the 19th century Philippines, and you were born as a Chinese mestizo. Chaos and tyranny of the Spaniards aside. In that case, you will enjoy the life pretty similar to the current middle of the economic class, granted that you would not have access to the cutting-edge technology we have today. If you want to be a person with plenty of money, stable, educated life, an abundant food source, and can travel to different countries, you will surely wish that your father is Chinese. At that time, the Chinese mestizo was more civilized than the average Filipino, or the Indios.
On the other hand, Filipinos nowadays often start their own business to make some money independently. If you happen to time travel to the past, you cannot quickly establish your own business because you will be on a tight budget. But if you are a Chinese mestizo, you can easily earn money because of your knowledge and skills in business and commerce. It will also make the country's economy better than the others. Additionally, your family could even be renting a considerable chunk of agricultural land from the Spanish religious orders as a livelihood. If you are a person who likes to influence others, you would like to be a Chinese mestizo because you will become one of the biggest influencers that our country had become.
These were the benefits that some of our heroes were able to take advantage of, especially the financial capacity to have an education, which not everyone can have in the Philippines at that time. Even in Spain, not everyone can have an education. So Rizal had an undying commitment to education. He knew that knowledge is power, and that the Philippines can never be free if ignorance is still present among Filipinos.
On the other hand, if Chinese mestizo never existed or the Chinese haven't traveled here in our country, our income source will only come from our agricultural industry, such as farming, and we will not have any famous landmarks like Binondo. If you try to imagine the Philippines without business, maybe we aren't civilized right now, and most of our place is still rural, and urbanization may be impossible. That's why living in today's generation is much easier than in the past. You have the freedom to do the things that you wanted without any hindrances, provided that you have the money to spend.
With that said, our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, is a fractional Chinese mestizo. He acquired Chinese mestizo traits that were determined, restricted to work, persistent, and love for the youth. He even stated and emphasized that our nation's future is the youth. As a Chinese mestizo, he played an essential role in forming what we call now the Filipino nation. However, even if he has a Chinese legacy, he and the other descendants prefer to be called a Filipino rather than a Chinese mestizo. They are the Filipino men who were the driving force of overthrowing Spain's corrupt power, and they are also the men who spoke up for the people of the Filipino nation.